Good evening. It's another one. Yes, how are you? Adam Smith here. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Welcome to Joseph Concert on Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely evening. Hope you enjoyed the day of sunshine. Of course, obviously, we've been able to go out and do stuff today. Thank you for joining us. Andy Watt, good evening. Den Nicholas, hello. Good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us here on Instagram. Joseph Concert. We're here tonight to chat to showbiz legend Christopher Biggins. Yes, he's just a legend, isn't he? There's no other way to describe it. Very excited to be talking to him very, very soon. Big thank you to each and every one of you for not only watching tonight, but also getting your questions in. I have got a massive list of questions here that you've all been getting in, so thank you very much. Good evening, Erin. Good evening, Shane. Jordan's in the team as well now. What could we possibly ask him? What have you been getting forward ready for Christopher Biggins tonight? We will be speaking to him very, very soon. So thank you if you already have got a question in. It's been a good couple of weeks, haven't we? Mark McMullan the other week, Linzi Hateley before that, and that's after the concert. And if you haven't seen the Joseph concert yet that we did for Acting for Others, a great team went behind it. It's still available to watch. You can watch it right now on YouTube and, of course, on social media as well, on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Just search for Joseph Concert. You'll find it very, very easily, okay? Right, so we're just waiting for Biggins to get the ear to go. He's ready to go. Once I get that message, we'll get him on. We'll have a chat with him and we'll put those questions to him as well. If you do want to send any questions in during the interview, if we get time to squeeze him in, he's a very, very busy man. Even in lockdown, this showbiz legend is busy. Just put them in the comments below and hopefully we'll be able to get those to him tonight. As I said, if you have put those questions in, then we can ask him anything tonight. There's no limit. Now, I read it. I've heard that he's ready. So we're just waiting for Biggins to join in right now. I wonder what fabulous attire he'll be wearing. He's a showbiz legend. Oh, there we go. Christopher, good evening.
How are you?
I'm very well, my love. How are you?
Yeah, very well indeed. It's been a lovely day, hasn't it?
It has indeed. Have you been doing anything exciting with the day?
Yes.
Have you done anything?
I went for a walk.
Yeah.
We live in Hackney, so we went to Victoria Park, which was heaving. It was wonderful. It was very exciting.
I can imagine. Well, it's lovely to speak to you. Big fan. We have had loads of people getting these questions in for you tonight on Joseph. When they heard that you were joining, they were like, no, Christopher Biggins, surely not. But yeah, I know you're still a very busy man, even in lockdown, but we have got loads of questions to put to you, and they could be about Joseph. They could be about I'm a Celebrity. They could be about anything. Is there anything that you're worried about asking you tonight?
Nothing. Ask away.
Okay, Mr. Biggins, I will do indeed. So let's start off with Andrea Watt. She sent her question in. Is there a role in the musical theatre you would still wish to play, and why? And she loved you in Joseph, the movie, and the fact she's loved you in all her performances on TV and stage. So is there a role in a musical you would still like to play, and why?
Do you know, it's a very nice question, but I don't think there is. There's not I've done, I've been in the business over 50 years and I've done so many different things. It's not true. And I look back at my CV and I can't believe the things I've done. I mean, it's been very, very exciting. I can't think of anything that I would like to do. I mean, I suppose just keep on working, but no, I can't think of anything. I mean, I'm sorry, that's a very boring answer to that question.
But it's an honest answer.
If you'd asked me 10 years ago, I probably could have given you a whole list of things I wanted to play. But now I'm very happy to be living in Hackney and alive.
I think right now, we're very just grateful of just our day-to-day abilities, especially today when we're able to go out and not have to stay at home. I think we really tend to value things a lot more now.
Absolutely. It's fantastic.
Richard King is the next question. He wants to know, which is your favourite theatre you have performed in and why?
Well, I think that I've done, what did I do? I did 18 months there, and I've done quite a few concerts there as well. But my favourite theatre has to be the London Palladium. I remember when we did Chitty Chitty Bang Bang there, and that was my 18-month run. I had a dressing room with a television, a telephone, and absolutely and a kettle. It was like a little flat in London. I loved it. And of course, every night I used to go out playing the Baron in Chitty, and I used to stand back behind the curtain, hearing the orchestra, and all I could think of was that years before me, Judy Garland has been on that stage singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and it used to send tingles through me. It's the most atmospheric theatre I think I've ever been in. It's wonderful.
It's iconic, and it is beautiful as well. Just the surroundings.
Beautiful.
You can look at the surroundings and feel the history, which is one thing I love about the Palladium. There you go, Richard.
Andrew Lloyd Webber owns that. Andrew Lloyd Webber owns that theatre. It's just I haven't seen it. Him and Madeline, his wife, have done a magnificent job on Drury Lane. They've made it absolutely incredible. So they were following in Karen McIntosh's vein and in doing up all his theatres wonderfully. So it's very exciting. I can't wait to go to the Palladium when we're allowed to, perhaps later this year.
Fingers crossed, sooner rather than later. I think everybody just wants to get back to doing what we've got such a passion for, especially.
Exactly.
Zoe Thornton now. I'd like to know what Joan Collins is like to work with. Obviously, good friends with Dame Joan. You are friends to all the stars, Zoe says, and she wants to know who's the most famous person in your mobile phone is.
Well, I can't say that he is in my mobile phone, but through Joan Collins, in fact, I spoke to her 2 hours ago in Los Angeles, where she is at the moment. And I was staying with her about, I suppose it must be 15 years ago. I was staying with her in Los Angeles. And I got a phone call from a woman called Barbara Davis, whose husband was called Marvin. And Marvin and Barbara Davis were the king and queen of Hollywood. And he was a billionaire in oil, but they knew everybody. And one day Barbara rang me at Joan and said, Christopher, we're having a 97th birthday party for George Burns. Would you like to come? And I said, I'd love to come. Well, it was very exciting to go to this party. And they held it in the foyer of their home in Los Angeles. And they invited 300 people. And they were quite a big hallway.
Yeah.
And my table was, there was the Michael Caine table. There was the, so many famous people. It wasn't true. Joan Collins, Jackie Collins. I was on the hostess's table, and I sat next to Shakira Caine, who's an old friend. And then there was our hostess, and then there was and then there was George Burns. The party was for, but between Shakira Caine and our hostess was Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
And all evening I called him Mr. Sinatra or Sir, and eventually he said, Christopher, call me Frank. So I thought, I can't let this moment go by. I called him Frank, and I said, Frank, you never guess this, but about 8 years ago, I played Nathan Detroit in Guys and Dolls. And he said, do you know, Christopher, so did I. And I thought, that's it now. I could die and go to heaven. And then he asked me to go in the corridor with him. And I thought he was going to kill me, but in fact what he wanted was a cigarette. And his wife didn't allow him to smoke, so I had to stand guard. And we had the most amazing conversation. It was wonderful.
I think you've taken Shobi's phone numbers, or Shobi's knowing people or meeting people to a new height there. Absolutely. There you go, Zoe. I don't think she was expecting that answer, but it's amazing. Haley Hope Bordiak now. Do you have any regrets in life on or off the stage?
Do you know, I don't have any regrets at all. I can safely say that. I mean, I've lived the most wonderful life. I've had the most fantastic time. Sometimes I read my CV in a program that's coming out saying, I think, my God, have I done all of that? I mean, it's amazing. It's television, film, theatre, and it's very exciting when I look. I think I'd like to go and see him. He'd be marvellous. No, I've no regrets. The only regret I suppose I've had, I would like to have played the Prince Regent, because I had legs just like it. He had legs like Queen Anne legs on a table. I mean, he was a big man like I am, and I just think he was marvelous. But sadly, I never played that. No, I can safely say I've had no regrets.
Oh, that's good. And talking about your CV, yes. I mean, I just Wikipedia'd you, and it's the longest Wikipedia I think I've ever read ever. Begins. It was unbelievable, and the things that you've done. I mean, does it ever come a point where people say to you, "Oh, you did something like now"? Obviously, we're triggering the memory that you were in Joseph, many moons back, and then you go, "I forgot I was in that." Is there ever that moment?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's some, especially television-wise.
Yeah.
There's because you forget a lot of the television you've done because there's so much of it. But no, I'm always surprised. And also, I'm very surprised when people remember things. Like, for instance, I'm still surprised but thrilled when people mention I, Claudius, in which I played Nero. And it was one of my great roles, which I think I did, even I would say I did really well. And it was just fantastic to be involved with a series like that, with, headed by Derek Jacobi and Sian Phillips and every other big star, English star at the time. And it was fantastic. And it's very rare that they repeat it. And I can only think we cost too much money now. That's the only thing I can work it out. But,
Possibly.
Because they'd have to pay repeat fees. Because the BBC did. I remember I did Porridge years ago, which I loved, a game with Ronnie Barker.
Yeah.
And I was on £90 an episode. But if it's shown on BBC One or BBC Two, I get over £1,000 an episode.
Wow.
So they don't repeat that often enough, because they do repeat it on terrible satellite channels, which we get 30 quid if we're lucky.
So if anyone from the BBC is listening, can we just get Porridge rerun, BBC, prime time? We'll
Actually,
get it up there.
It must be coming up for an anniversary, so I think they might start to put it out again.
Hopefully so. Let's get you £1,000.
Except we don't want the satellite channels to, because the satellite channels pay nothing.
Unless they play it over and over and over on repeat. And
they can play it as many times as they like. We get nothing.
Oh, I think we need to change the law there, don't we?
Exactly,
on to Donna Marie Silver now. In Joseph, you played the baker, and if you had the chance to play a different character in Joseph, who would it be?
Joseph.
Why?
No, I'm just. Well, it'd be nice to play the lead in a
of course,
such a wonderful show like that. It was. I was at dinner with Madeline and Andrew Lloyd Webber in a club in the West End, and I'm trying on his name. Andrew had a few too many drinks. Sounds like I had, and he offered me the part of the baker, and so I was thrilled. I went home on the cloud nine, and then Madeline rang the next following day and said, "Look, I'm terribly sorry, but we've already offered it to someone else," which they had. But luckily, the other person they'd offered it to had a look at it and said, "I can't sing. I cannot sing, so I cannot do it." So then it came to me. So I was fantastic. It was really wonderful, and what an enjoyable show it was.
Yeah, it is. And one thing that we've learned from doing these interviews is that the following for Joseph, after all its run, it's just phenomenal. It seems to have one of the best community of fans and followers to any musical I've ever encountered.
Yeah, no, it is fantastic. I think because it's such a good show. I mean, that's what's so wonderful about it. I mean, it's a marvelous show for people to enjoy and join in as well, because which you can. It's about like a karaoke type musical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great fun and just adorable to do. I loved every minute of it. It was wonderful.
On to the next question now. Jess Blight. She says, I'm coming to the end of my degree, and I was wondering if you could ask Christopher Biggins my question. What was Christopher's favourite moment in the film? And can you remember the words of your lines?
Well, first of all, I'll answer the second part. I cannot remember the lines.
We're not even going to try, Biggins.
I'm not even going to try. So I don't remember the lines. What was the first part of the question?
What was your favourite moment in the film?
Oh, well, I can't. It wasn't actually in the film, but my favourite moment was when the star of the film, what was his name? That's why I can't remember my lines in the show. Who starred in
Donny Osmond, wasn't it?
Johnny Osmond, that's right. Who was enchanting, and we all used to go to makeup about 6 a.m. And Donny Osmond used to come in, and he used to wear a white dressing gown, which he took off as he got into the makeup room. And he had the tiniest pair of white briefs on.
Okay, I wonder where you were going there.
And he was made up. He had a spray tan put on. So I can say that I've sat next to Donny Osmond when he was sprayed to look gorgeous. And he was gorgeous. And he was a lovely, lovely man, I have to say. And I think at one particular morning I said to him, "Donny, are those your own legs?"
So Donny Osmond has good legs then, yeah?
He has a very good body. The whole thing is
the tanning thing we weren't aware of. So, if with your permission, I'd love to go and add that to your Wikipedia page. I think that needs to be on there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Of course you do.
There you go, Jess. Fiona Lynn Curtis, talking to Donny Osmond. What was it like working with Donny Osmond? Obviously on stage, we know what happened behind the scenes. How are you able to compare working with Donny on Joseph to working with Tim Curry on Rocky Horror?
Well, you have to remember that Tim Curry was, without a doubt, a huge legend when he did Rocky Horror Show.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember going to the first night at the theatre upstairs in Sloane Square to see his unbelievable performance as Frankenfurter. I mean, he was extraordinary. I mean, it was one of the most wonderful performances still in my mind. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. Brave, courageous, funny, beautifully sung. It was an incredible night. And then when they asked me to become one of the Transylvanians, because they had about 16 Transylvanians, I think, I jumped at the chance. And we had 10 weeks on it. I earned £100 a week, which was £1,000, and I bought a new sofa bed out of it. So that's my memory. But it was a wonderful memory to have to work on that show. So it was absolutely fantastic. And we had such a good time. I can't tell you. Everyone was stoned too, because if you weren't taking anything, it was in the air. There were so many drugs going on, it wasn't true, but it was fabulous.
Oh, how the other half live. Right, on to John Rowan now. Is there any part in any other Andrew Lloyd Webber musical you would like to do? And what do you think it is about Joseph that makes it a timeless piece and why it is still widely performed today?
Well, I think Joseph is widely performed today because it goes for any age group. I mean, they wrote it for children, really, when it first came out. And so you've got all that children audience. And then, of course, it became huge when the film came out. And interestingly enough, when the film came out, it was a big flop. I don't know many people know that. But it was considered not to be good. And then, of course, then the Americans got hold of it and started throwing water and doing all sorts of tricks when you went to the theatre. And it took off. And, of course, when the film was made, it got terrible reviews, but it became one of the biggest grossing English films ever. And I think it still is up there with the amount of money it's taken. Yeah. And it appeals to everybody. I love the fact that I've done not the stage show, but I have done a stage show, but not as any character except I was the narrator. And of course the audience were extraordinary when you do it on stage. They used to come dressed up as their favorite characters and looking absolutely wonderful. And we just had a ball. And I think the audience had loved it that I'd been in the film. There I was on the stage. So it was fantastic, really good.
Yeah, it's such a good musical and a good film as well. And yeah, obviously it took a while to kind of build up. And as it says, it is one of the best grossing films, British. And it's just a credit, I think, to the West End. You know, when people realise where it started. I mean, we were very fortunate to chat to Jess Conrad, a few months back, who was, one of the original people about Joseph. And he was still shocked of how people are still loving it and so enriched by it. It's just, and to be a part of it.
The audience participation was one of the great things about it. That people could join in, they could become the characters, they could sing along. They could, because they knew it so well, and it was just brilliant. I mean, it was a highlight, one of my highlights of my career, actually, I have to say.
We'll stay with Joseph for Holly's question next. Holly Alicia Dixon, what did you enjoy whilst filming Joseph, and would you ever be a part of Joseph again if offered?
Yeah, well, I enjoyed the whole atmosphere, the whole bon ami, wonderful cast members. I mean, Joan Collins was in the film.
Of course,
yeah. She played Pharaoh's wife, I think. And so it was a great cast. And I would love to do it again. I don't know what I'd play, but I'd love to do it again. It would be marvellous. Perhaps I
think loads of people would love to see that. Maybe. I mean, you do look good in a dress, Biggins. There's no doubt about that.
Exactly. Joan I've played Joan Collins in pantomime with huge shoulder pads in. And she came to see it, and she was very amused, I'm pleased to say.
One of the things people that I've known who obviously have met Joan Collins have always said she's got such a wicked sense of humour. Like,
Oh my,
it's so dry, so witty, but wicked at the same time.
she really does. I mean, she's very, very funny indeed. And, you know, she, even in this COVID experience, when she left London because she was so frustrated by it all to go to Los Angeles, and she's having a fun time over there. But even when she was still here, she never lost her sense of humour. She was wonderful.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant lady. Josh Large now staying again with Joseph. What was your favourite song from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat? If you had to choose one, what would it be?
I think it would be when he goes through all the names of all the brothers. Isn't that right? Yes, but I love that number. I think there's so many good numbers in it. It's I mean, it was fantastic. It's and of course I think not only Andrew Lloyd Webber but Tim Rice were just brilliant at that particular time during their career.
Yeah.
I mean, they wrote and it was just wonderful. But it was, how did it go, that song? Let me think. I'm very old. I can't think anymore. But anyway, it's where it goes all through the names of the brothers, isn't it? That's
yeah.
right. You're saying yes, but you're not convinced.
I'm not. Do you know what? I'm thinking yes. I'm still starstruck, Biggins. I'm still talking to you. That's why. A lot of love for you in the chat tonight. By the way, I don't know if you can see the comments that are coming up at the bottom. There's a lot of Biggins love for you tonight. Carrying on, James now. 123456. Very original name on Instagram. What would your dream ideal role be? Anything at all. You could be male part, female part, animal part.
Well, you know what I'd love to do, and perhaps it could be arranged. I would love to play. I'm mad on. Say horror films, I suppose is right, but I mean, I'd love to play a serial killer, and I'd love to play, you know, very benign, very smiley, and yet goes out and murders people left, right, and centre. I think that would be marvelous. I would love that.
I could see that. I mean, obviously, you know, Tim Curry has been in Criminal Minds, which is a very brilliant American drama. Maybe you could get on an American, you know, you could be a serial killer. I think Biggins, the serial killer, could be the next Jack the Ripper.
Well, I think it could be quite interesting because I think it's the last thing people would think, that I would go out and murder people. But I would love it. And I love all those dramas on television about serial killers and everything. It'd be wonderful. Great fun.
I agree. And then obviously your connections with Joan Collins, good friends with Piers Morgan, he could come interview you.
Absolutely.
Because he does his serial...
I know. Joan's coming over in May to be interviewed by Piers, which is very exciting. So we're all going to go and have a look at that.
That's a fascinating life.
Very sad that Piers left the programme. I thought it was all very unfortunate because, of course, the one thing about Piers, which you may hate or you may love, and I particularly love it, is he speaks his mind.
Yes.
And, you know, it's really good. My picture on I'm speaking to you on my mobile, is not as good as your picture. It's very clear. Why is that, do you think?
I have no idea. What I mean, let's not get technical, but what iPhone or Android have you got?
I've got an iPhone.
What model?
Well, I have no idea, but it's the
top
of the range.
You've also got Sky Q as well. I just saw your remote.
All right.
Oh, we're going to be having a tour of your route, your house soon, Biggins, aren't we? I look forward to this. Right, let's carry on. This is a bit of a message we've had from White Shadow Coldplay on Instagram. It's not really a question. It's just, I made a Joseph coat of my own, and I'd love you to see pictures of it. I've watched you in many TV shows and think you're amazing and funny. Now, when I spoke to Mark last week and Linzi the other week as well, after so many years in show business, do you still take praise? Do you still welcome it? And when people go, you influenced me to go and do this, you were the reason why I decided to audition for this role. How does that feel to you when people say such amazing things about you, when you are just doing something that you love to do and entertaining?
It's fabulous because I really feel that I've been sent here to do something and it's been achieved. If I encourage people to do something, it's been wonderful. And I love the fact. I also love the fact when people mention things that they say to me, oh, we loved you in I, Claudius, we loved you in Poldark, which is the more dramatic side of my career. Yeah. And so I love that. And it's just fascinating. And people, because I think I'm open, people are very good about coming forward and saying things. And it's very, very nice. I'll never lose that joy of the public. I love them. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And they love you so much. Like, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, the hearts keep flying up. It's well, it's just be great to hear, you know, that, I mean, when people say to you as well, you know, I went in and did this role because, you know, Biggins is so good and he's such an influence. Do people still come up to you and go, because of you, I did this, I got the part? Or anybody who's been famous that you've met on, you know, doing dinner parties or whatever, and gone, I did this, I got into this career because of you, and here I am.
Yeah, I mean, it happens a lot, and it's very satisfying, that, you know. I mean, you know, Sean Connery, when he played James Bond, came to me and said, "Thank you very much for all you've done. Because of you, I wanted to play James Bond." No, I'm lying through my teeth. But it sounds good. No, I mean, it is lovely to have influenced people, I think, you know, and you forget, you know, sometimes you forget some of the things you do. I mean, I regret doing Big Brother because it was so hideous and so awful, and they were really vile to me. But one of my highlights of my career definitely has to be I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yes, we're going to get onto that very, very soon. We haven't missed that, don't worry. We want to know what it's like to taste that food and what it really tastes like. Is it chicken? Is it hidden? We'll get into that. Gillian Fitzpatrick, Chris, I grew up watching you in many shows over the years, including Rentaghost, Surprise, Surprise, etc., etc. If you had to choose one memorable moment, what will you never forget? What would it be in your remarkable career? That's from Gillian.
Well, I suppose I've already answered that by just saying a show just before you came up with this question. It has to be I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah.
Because not only, I mean, that was, I think it was about 12 years ago I did my version. And still
2007, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's more than 12 years then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
14 nearly.
14, yes. So, and people... It was wonderful winning it because, of course, the public vote for you. And that is what was so fantastic. And I loved every single moment of it. The boys, Ant and Dec, had always wanted me on their wish list. And so one year, but I was always doing pantomime. So one year, they came through with an offer in January for the following October, November. So I thought, why not? So I decided to turn down pantomime, and I did that instead. And people couldn't understand why I wasn't doing pantomime, because I couldn't say I was doing I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. But I absolutely loved it. It was one of the best things, and it was such fun. And you know, the great thing at the end of towards the end of the series, there's 4 of you left, and you do that thing where you have to climb up that wall of water, and
Celebrity Cyclone.
Oh my
God!
I've never laughed so much in my life. Of course, I'm always laughing, but that was the funniest thing ever. It was absolutely brilliant.
You were brilliant on it, and a worthy winner indeed.
Well, thank you very much.
Ian Henderson now going on to Pantos that you mentioned there. Hi there, Chris. I've seen you in around 15 Pantos over the years. Have you missed doing Panto this year? It's been so sad that all the theatres have been sitting dark and empty. What will we see you doing next? Anything that you can exclusively tell us?
Well, it was a great shame, because last September we cancelled Dartford, where I was going to go and do Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah. But when we cancelled it last September, I was then said, will you do it again this year? So I'm going back to Dartford this year to do Jack and the Beanstalk, which I'm really pleased about. And I've got Ricky Jays, who is a fantastic comedian, who's coming with me. So at the moment, anyway, things could change, but that's what we're doing. And I'm doing the odd, 2 years ago, when the last Edinburgh Festival, I did my own one-man show, and I think I'm going to do that again at some particular point, which I really loved. And I'd like to go back to Edinburgh this year, but I can't see Edinburgh Festival opening this year. I think it's too soon.
Yeah, because it's hit or miss, isn't it?
It is. It's all very well people saying, oh, you can do a half full audience, but you know, for pantomime you need a full audience. You need, you know, everyone in behind you. You don't need people wearing masks. Yeah. So it's a very difficult one. But anyway, let's see what happens. I hope. I mean, last year the Palladium pantomime was allowed to open, but it only did 6 performances, and it was terrible. Yeah. I mean, it was wonderful. The show was wonderful, But it was terrible that only did 6 performances.
Because I guess when you are on stage and you're doing a performance in Panto, you are reliant upon the audience as well. Their atmosphere and their feedback drives you to perform, even more hyper or more crazy than you would do usually, I assume.
Yes, of course it does. And the audience is terribly important. I mean, the previous year I was in Bromley and we played to packed houses. And so big was the pantomime that year that they changed the name of my dressing room from whatever it was to Biggins. So there's now in Bromley a dressing room called Biggins, which I was thrilled about. But we did do a fantastic season. And, the more, if you fill a theatre with people enjoying a pantomime, it's nothing like it.
I agree. Yeah, it's the vibe, isn't it? The audience, what they give off is what drives people. And chatting to people, a lot of the people are just missing entertaining. When it's in your blood and you want to do it and you've been unable to do it for so long, it can have a toll on you. And you think to yourself, I really miss this. I want to do it. But hopefully we'll have you on that stage for Dartmouth. Dartmouth, was it? Dartford, hopefully.
Dartford. Get it right.
Look forward to that. Sorry. I'm from Yorkshire, Biggins. I have no idea where half these places are. If it's not America or Yorkshire, I don't know.
Where are you speaking to from now?
So I'm from Leeds in Yorkshire.
I did a pantomime 2 years ago in Bradford.
The Alhambra?
The Alhambra, which I loved. It's a gorgeous theatre. However, there's nowhere to stay in Bradford. And so I stayed in Leeds. I stayed in a most wonderful hotel in Leeds. And it was fantastic. We had such a good time. So I love Leeds. It's great.
You did the Panto, was it the year before you did the Leeds, the Bradford one? It was a couple of years before you did I'm a Celebrity, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. I did Bradford after the Celebrity.
Oh, right, okay. That was the one with Billy Pearce, wasn't it?
That's right. Well, Billy Pearce is Bradford.
He is. It's like Rock. You could cut him in half and it'd just say...
I know.
Bradford
He's
all the way
wonderful.
through. He's a lovely guy, absolutely. Jonathan Evans... I don't know.
She's gorgeous.
Lovely woman.
Lovely woman. Yeah.
I've only seen him in passing through stage shows and radio interviews and stuff like that.
And John Lewis.
He's a brilliant, brilliant man. Right, anyway, on to another brilliant man now. Biggins, of course. Jonathan Evans wants to know, you've worked with so many celebrities and very famous people over the years. Who has been the most fun that you can have a really good laugh with? Now, we mentioned Joan Collins earlier. We've done that one. So who else who's the most funniest and that you've got up to the most trouble with?
The answer is easy to that. That was Cilla Black. I mean, we laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed making that show. And she was fantastic. And I became a great friend of hers and her family. And I'm going to switch a light on because this is just to say it's getting darker and darker and darker as I'm speaking to you. Hang on a second. I just get a
daylight saving for you. If you have just tuned in, we are chatting to Christopher Biggins right now here on Instagram. There he is. There's his glasses.
Yes, here I am.
Hello.
I'm going over now and switch the light on.
He's just turning a light on.
I'm going to have a new knee. I've got arthritis in my knee, so I'm going to have an operation in a month's time, I think, or when COVID permits.
Yeah. But, well, from all us here at Joseph and your fans, we send you all the best, and we wish you a speedy recovery after it. Oh, we got light now.
Oh, look, that's better.
There we go.
Yes.
Should we start again? Should we go back to the beginning and ask all the questions?
What was the first question? No.
Joan Collins, yeah. You've worked with many famous people over the years. Who is the most fun that you've had a right good laugh with and caused most trouble? We've mentioned Joan Collins and Cilla Black. So, now you said you're still really good friends with her family. Do you still get involved? Do you still get to see them? Do you do any annual thing to in her memory?
No, we don't actually. But we do occasionally. Robert, who looks after her, who was her agent, will ring me about something or other. So, but no, we occasionally speak, but not all the time. But they're a wonderful family, and of course, Bobby, her husband, died well before her. Yeah. But she was just fantastic, and we never stopped laughing. It was wonderful, really good.
Yeah, surprise, surprise! One was one of the most watched Saturday night TV shows in history.
I know.
You were a part of that.
It was extraordinary. I mean, it was really wonderful.
There we go. On to Molly Cunningham now. This lockdown has been tough for us all. and we are getting there, and it'll be over soon, fingers crossed. What have you been doing to keep yourself busy and occupied during the past year?
Well, I've been very lucky. I've been doing lots of television, which has been good. Lots of television shows. I've been doing all sorts of things. I mean, it's been really wonderful. I mean, there's always, suddenly a pandemic like this opens all sorts of doors, and which is really good. So I've really walked. Let's say it again. I've worked nearly full stop. I mean, it's been fantastic. Good. Really has been good.
Yeah. How have you found the move? How have you found the move from being on a stage to on a phone or a device or online?
Well, it's not the best, but it helps. It works. I mean, it's a very good place to, a stage for you to work from. I mean, I hate what we're doing now, but I mean, it's better than doing nothing.
I won't take it personally.
Don't take it personally, but you know what I mean. I'd much rather be facing you in real life.
Yeah.
But this helps, and it's a wonderful way of doing it. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think the reason this Joseph concert was set up, back last year with the team, was just to give people a little bit of theatre at home when they can't do anything, and there was no indication of why. So being able to do this, and I know, it's probably not the greatest thing to do, but we are really grateful that you've joined us tonight, and I will be putting that on my CV. Biggins said, I'd rather be doing something else than chatting to Adam Smith. I'll take that. Joan Aitken now. Hi there, Chris. Hope you're keeping well. Did you watch the Joseph concert that we were just talking about? Did you wish you'd been in it? And she said, I thought you were amazing as the baker in the Joseph film. Thank you very much, Joan.
I would love to have been in it. I was never asked to be in it, and I'm furious.
So you're gonna anger the team now. They're going, yes, we did. We asked him.
No, you didn't. And it would have been lovely. I mean, because it's such a fantastic show. I mean, it really is. But it's like all these shows. It's like the Rocky Horror Show, which I absolutely adored. I mean, when we made the Rocky Horror Show, filmed it. I mean, it was just a joy. I can't tell you. And we had such a laugh making it. It was wonderful.
Now, the Rocky Horror Show still lives on to this day on the stage and the movie, but not to mention the music as well. So obviously, the Time Warp is still one of the all-time great songs. I'm going to ask
just a jump to the left and a step to the right.
Do you know the dance?
We
won't make you do it because of your knee.
No, it was great. It was really fantastic. We had such a laugh doing it, I have to say. It was wonderful. And it was marvellous that we did it. And it I think it's one of the biggest grossing British films.
Musical films of all time, yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. But, when it first opened, it was a flop. Nobody went to see it. It was disaster. And
it was so unique back then, though, wasn't it? Like now, extravagance is just normal. Whereas back then it was very, cliche. But now, you can do what you want, can't you?
I think the word you're fighting for is camp.
I would never say that to you. Ever. There you go, Joan. That question for you there. Now, obviously, the more we talk tonight, and it's a pleasure to be chatting to you, everything that we ask about your work, whether it be Joseph or Rocky Horror or your TV work, none of it you ever make sound like work. It's just like a hobby. It's enjoyment. And the fact that you get paid for it is just a blessing.
I've been very lucky, and I honestly, I think I can say, apart from doing, what about I said it earlier? Oh, I know. Apart from doing Big
Brother.
Big Brother. Apart from doing Big Brother, everything, I hated doing that. It was horrible and vile. And so awful. But
it was a nasty year that year.
It was a nasty year, very nasty. But I've enjoyed everything in my career that I've ever done. I mean, it's been absolutely marvellous. It's been a joy from beginning to end. And, I've met some wonderful people. I've done wonderful roles. It's been fantastic, really good.
Yeah, it's an amazing career.
But brother was an absolute bastard.
If you swore, I don't mind. If you're offended, Biggins, get used to it. Christopher Ray now, of all the jobs and roles you have played over the years, what's your favourite thing to do if you had to choose one? So, singing, acting, dancing, presenting, panto dame, reading, storytelling. You're a very talented man, so good. You're good at everything you do. There you go, Christopher, from Christopher. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, when you've got a barrel of multi-talent, such a good spectrum like you have, I guess it'd be hard to choose one if you had to.
I think it is hard, but I mean, I absolutely love what I've done in pantomime. I mean, pantomime has been a joy to me, and I absolutely love it. So that has to come fairly high up, I think. But everything I've done, even small things, I've really enjoyed everything. I'm one of those people that enjoys things. And I can safely say that the only thing I have never enjoyed was Big Brother. So I think out of a 55-year career, that's not bad to say as one thing. So I think there's a lot of other actors have about 50 million things they've hated doing, but they've done it to make some money and things. But no, that's the only thing. And I really still enjoy working. It's good. It's good fun.
Would you ever retire, or will you do a Tommy Cooper?
No, I don't. Oh, what, die?
Not on stage. I don't think you want to. I mean, you've got ages, decades left in you yet. Let's not. I'm just thinking, is that it? You always want to go on stage.
I think I like to do less, and I like to do more fun things that I like doing. But I've had the most remarkable career, and I look back on it and think, God, that's absolutely fantastic. So no, but I still do things. I mean, I'm just about to do a great thing for iPod, which is that I'm talking about various things that have happened to me and interviewing people or what's happened to them in their life. Yeah. It all revolves around specifically. How can I explain this? We haven't done it yet. We're just about to do it.
Is it like a Biggins version of Piers Morgan's life stories?
No.
Oh, okay. That would be good, though.
That would be good. No, what it is that I ask people to do things that they wouldn't normally do, and they pick 3 things that they have to do, and then I pick one, and it's a good idea, and I think it's going to be successful. I hope so, anyway.
And when's this available? Can you give us a little bit of a tease, or is it something?
No, we've just done the first pilot where I interviewed someone, and now we're putting it together. So I think it probably could be in perhaps a couple of months' time.
Oh, we look forward to that. That sounds amazing. We like mischief, and it keeps.
Yeah, exactly.
And are you doing this to normal human beings or celebrities?
No. Well, we're using celebrities as to what the 3 things they would like to do. But obviously, it's egged towards the public.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. I can't wait to see that. I'm very looking forward to that. I love my podcast. That's brilliant. Martin Callahan now, and completely, this is nothing to do with showbiz. Do you have any pets, Chris? He's got 2 dogs, and they've kept him company and kept him sane during lockdown, sending all their love from Birmingham. So Mike wants to know, do you have any pets, Chris?
No, I haven't got time for pets. And I tell you why, because I really love pets. And I would really want to spoil them and look after them. And life is too restrictive, I think, if you have a pet. I've got a lover, and that's the nearest thing I'm going to have to a pet.
You could stroke them. Too close. Right, Simon McFarlane now. I loved Rentaghost growing up and loved watching it. Was it good fun to film?
Rentaghost was absolutely wonderful, and it was wonderful because of a wonderful director and producer called Jeremy Swan, who's a mad Irishman, and he is fantastic. He's still alive, because I'm telling you he's dead, but he's not. He's alive and well and living in Clapham, and it was such a joy doing that. And there were wonderful artists like Michael Staniforth, who I absolutely adored, and sadly he's not with us anymore. But it was a great thing to do. It was mad, it was off the wall, and it was adorable. I loved it.
Now, we need to talk. I'm a Celebrity. Biggins, King of the Jungle 2007. Jacqueline Scott wants to know, as King of the Jungle, you were so good in the jungle. How was the experience doing it? And would you do it again? And is there anything that happens that we don't see on TV? Now, obviously, you mentioned earlier it was the highlight of your career. So how was it? What was the experience? We know it was amazing, but what was it that made it, besides Celebrity Cyclone, which is incredible, what was it that made it so enjoyable?
It was fantastic, but of course, when you're in there, you don't know how you're being perceived or how you're coming over. So it was only when I came out and I saw, obviously I won it, So that was very nice. But I mean, you know, I then went away on a holiday with all the episodes, and I watched them, and it was just a joy to watch. I thought it was fantastic. I think that it was a great combination of people. We all, nearly all of us, got on well, and it was just fantastic fun. And of course, it's so popular. And you know, if you enjoy it and you win it, the world is your oyster. You can do anything.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I love
Now,
it.
did you? When you obviously watched all these videos prior to going in, were you aware what you're getting yourself into?
It was, I think. I was getting, you know. Oh, someone said just written Jeremy Swan will live forever.
Yeah, Sean Biggins there. Thank you, Sean.
Oh, that's my brother. Is it?
Oh, is it?
I think it must
Hello,
be.
Biggins. Other Biggins.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. We've got the whole family watching tonight.
Oh, I know. They're all there. And Haley, his wife, Haley.
Yeah.
No, so it was fantastic. It really was enjoyable, and it was so good. And I don't know. I really it changed my whole career really, because from that moment in time, I was Christopher Biggins. Then suddenly I became Biggins, and I became something very special, you know, to the public, and it was fantastic. And I loved every moment of it, and I love watching it now. But I think, you know, it depends on, I mean, I think last year's was a little tricky because, you know...
The castle's not the same as the jungle, is it?
No. Not the same.
Can't get a tan in Wales.
No, you can't.
Now, obviously, what do you prefer? Are you Christopher? Are you Chris? Are you Christopher Biggins or Biggins? Do you have a preference?
No, I don't. But a lot of people call me Biggins, which I love because it's such a wonderful name. I mean, it's my name, and it's not a made-up name. And I adore it. And I love people calling me Biggins. So it's great.
Was there any point in I'm a Celebrity where you went in and obviously you knew what you were getting yourself into? You did some amazing bush tucker trials, you know, some that were cringy, but some were just so amazing. And you felt for you, but then you thought, you know, he's enjoying it. He's just going for it. He doesn't care. But was it any point where you just thought, I could actually win this? You know, I'm just Christopher Biggins. I've done theatre, stage and daring. I could win this. Was there a point where you thought, I can do this?
No, luckily I don't think there was. I mean, when I was up against that awful American woman.
Chris, we've lost you for a second, buddy. I think you've got your hand over the bottom of the phone.
Oh, right. Can you hear me now?
I can do. Yeah, there we go.
Sorry about that. No, I was just thinking there was one particular woman whose name escapes me now. She was an American model. And she was pretty vile, and I hated her.
Janice Dickinson, was it? That's the one, yeah.
That's right, Janice Dickinson. And when it was just the two of us at the end, I was convinced that she'd won. I really was. And and she was convinced she'd won. So when they announced my name, she was absolutely furious. Ooh. So it didn't go down well at all. And she wasn't a very nice woman. But it was an incredible experience. It really was, and changed my life, really.
Yeah, well-deserved winner. I mean, out of all the seasons that, you know, you get to watch I'm a Celebrity, I think when you go back to the classics, you know, 2007 especially, was the best year. It was what I'm a Celebrity was about. You know, it wasn't about fighting or arguments. It's about people coming together as a team, and it was really good. And as I keep saying, a worthy winner, Biggins. You were absolutely brilliant in that series, and in my opinion, one of the best ones. So there you go, Jacqueline. Now we spoke about Cilla Black earlier. Samantha Paul wants to know, you worked with Cilla Black. What a beautiful, gorgeous lady. Samantha went on Blind Date as a contestant years ago and met her, and she was just fabulous. What a unique lady. I bet it was a pure joy to be with her. Any funny stories?
So many funny stories. I mean, she was a joy. I mean, I can't tell you, you know, and I loved her from the day we met till her funeral. I mean, she was very special to me, and I think I was special to her and her family. I mean, she was just wonderful. You know, it's very interesting when we work with someone like Cilla Black, who's a star, and she really was a true star. When you think of her career in the 60s, when she was as big as the Beatles, you know, I mean, it was extraordinary. And yet then she had time off to bring up her children, which I think was very brave of her. And then she made a comeback after, when her youngest child was, I think, about 16 or something. Perhaps he was younger than that. But anyway, then she decided she'd go back into show business, and she came up with Surprise, Surprise. And she was wonderful. I mean, just wonderful. I mean, I keep thinking of now, like, a story I've heard perhaps today. I think, I must tell Scylla. And I keep thinking I must ring her. And of course, she's not there anymore, which is very, very sad. But I was a great friend of the family's. I loved being with her. I spent a lot of time with her in Barbados, where she had a house, and her house in the country. I mean, she was great. She was a fantastic woman. So
I bet you had some amazing moments. Is there any moment with Scylla that recalls to you where you go, that was so funny when we did that? Someone just put, I loved hearing about Scylla and Biggins going to the Ivy. So obviously it was a dinner party, maybe a meal out, where there's a moment where you just remember her for that.
Yes. Well, there was quite a few moments like that. But I was just trying to think. There was, we did an episode where we had this man on, and he wanted to propose to his girlfriend on television live, and the girlfriend didn't know. So they came on, and he sat next to me, and she sat next to Scylla. No, Scylla, the girl sat next to me, and the boy sat next to Scylla. And so he got down on one knee and said, "Will you marry me?" And she looked at him and looked at me and said, "No." And I said to her, "Oh, go on, please, that's for us.
Just for TV, please."
She said, "No, I don't want to marry you." So that was wonderful. And Scylla was absolutely, we were both of us stunned, and it was live television too.
Yeah.
The first 6 episodes we did live, which was very exciting. And there were wonderful things like that happened, the off the cuff things. But she was just wonderful. I mean, I can't believe it now when Alan Boyd, who was the producer, rang me and said, "You've got the part." I couldn't believe it, that I was going to be co-starring with Cilla Black. I mean, she was fantastic.
And the start of a beautiful friendship.
And the start of a beautiful friendship. We did a lot of things together. Went on holiday a lot. Bobby, her husband, was terrific. The boys were great, who I still see occasionally. It was fantastic.
Oh, brilliant. Francis Clark now. Where's your favourite place to go on holiday, and where would you like to go next?
Well, I mean, that's a very interesting question, actually, because I used to love Mauritius, and it's a lovely island. But now I went off it a bit because it's, I don't know, it lost a bit of its charm for me. I mean, I love South Africa. I love America. I love going to. But the whole world is changing so much now that it's very difficult to say, where would you like to go next? I mean, I love Europe. I love holidays, actually. So I'm very happy. But of course, since this pandemic, we've lost the will to go to lots of places because we're not welcome. I mean, it's very difficult to choose a place to go on holiday. But where would I like to go? Well, I think we're going to go somewhere in England, which would be nice, because I think England is fantastic, or Great Britain, I should say. So that'll be nice, because I think it's going to be still very difficult to travel as much as we liked and as much as we have been traveling in the past.
Yeah, a staycation for Biggins. I can picture you in a Centre Parks or a Butlins.
Yeah, thank you.
Enjoying it.
I've been to Butlins.
Have you?
Yeah, when I was about 14 years old, I went to Bognor with my parents, and I won the fancy dress competition as a drag queen, which I didn't know what drag queen meant. But when I was 14.
That's where it all started. All this damn
That's
stuff.
where it all started. Pantomime started very early for me.
Thank you for your question, Francis Clark. I'm loving these stories tonight. Thank you very much, Biggins. Shelley Alexander, hello there, Chris. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I'm missing theatre so much and seeing talented people like you in the shows. What one show would you love to do that you haven't done already? Love from us all in Glasgow, Scotland. So any show all you could do, what would it be?
A stage show, presumably she means, does she?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose because interestingly enough, years and years and years ago, when Cameron McIntosh is a great friend of mine, we've been friends for years and years and years and years and years. And when he did Les Miserables, he did say, you should audition for me for Les Miserables. And I auditioned, and he was very surprised and, almost offered me the part. But in fact, I couldn't do it. But I wish I had done Thénardier in Les Mis, because that would have been fabulous. And it's one of my favorite all-time shows, and it would have been marvelous. My brother's wife has come up, Haley Biggins.
Everyone's having a right chat down there, Biggins.
I
Everyone's
know.
is chatting away. Kelly Hutchins, loved doing Chitty and Rocker Horror Show. Kay Fraser, I'm missing theatre so much too. Kelly Hutchins, saw you in Chitty. So many people chatting. Somebody mentioned Scylla. I loved Scylla on the Royal Variety performance, that time with the lighted dress. That's still to this day one of the most memorable Royal Variety moments.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And she was absolutely brilliant, and she was what you call an old-fashioned star. That's what she was. I mean, and the public loved her. I mean, she was fantastic. We had such a good time working together. I can't tell you. The first 6 episodes we did of Surprise, Surprise, they were live. Yeah. And that was Sunday evening, prime time television, doing a live show. It was so exciting. I can't tell you. It was wonderful.
And it was, as I said, one of the best Saturday night shows. It started on a Sunday, didn't it, and then moved to Saturday.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
It was a weekend show, and it was fantastic, and really.
It was London Weekend TV as well, wasn't it? Good old LWT.
Yes, LWT, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you hear the bell going?
I can. What is that?
That is it's a doorbell, but what it is, if you come near it, it starts to ring, and my partner Neil is in the garden doing a bit of gardening. Mind you, it's quite dark out there now. Just so
he's getting a bit. Yeah. Well, we'll crack on so you can get on with your evening. Susan Cochran now. Hello, Chris. Do you know all the colours of Joseph's coat in order? Now, we've been asking everyone this. The coats of the colour of Joseph's coat.
Does it start off? I think it may start off, and I may be wrong, red and yellow and blue?
I'm assuming so. I think.
No,
don't
you know?
I don't know. Everyone keeps doing it, and I'm like, because somebody's asked to ask you, so I'm asking.
You should have it written down.
Okay.
It's very embarrassing.
I'm being told off by Biggins. I'm so sorry. That's going on my Wikipedia too. I'm sorry. Let's say you got it right.
No. I don't know. I don't think I have, but I mean, it's such a wonderful song. Andrew and Tim Rice are good friends of mine, and I think it's of all their shows, it is the most classic Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber show. I mean, obviously they would probably not agree because they've moved on. But it certainly it encapsulates so much of what is joyous. And Michael Harrison did a wonderful production of it in the London Palladium last year, which I think he's going to revive again this year. But it's a wonderful show. But I can't, not for the life of me, red and yellow and orange and blue. I think it's something like that.
I think that's the colours of the rainbow. But yeah, I would do the same. I would do that. But someone's just put it ends with blue. So we'll.
Oh, there you are.
We tried, didn't we? And I should know better. I'm sorry. Yeah. Mary Donnelly now. What was the worst thing about being an I'm a Celebrity? And how did it feel to be crowned the winner? Now, we spoke about that. But was it any bad point? I mean, you must have missed being with family or being away from home. Did the positives override the negatives of I'm a Celeb?
The worst thing, I think, possibly, was the fact that, it was, what should I say? I'm going to be very careful how I say this. Just putting a bit more light on the situation on me. I had to open the larder doors, if you want to know. Shall I show it to you?
Yeah, go on.
There you are.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Got some Canderel in there.
Canderel, yes, I love Canderel. Do you use Canderel?
I do, yeah. Canderel's brilliant.
Yeah, I love it. We're sharing our secrets now. What was the question again?
So, the worst thing about being in the jungle, now, obviously we spoke about missing your family, but did the positives outweigh the negatives?
Yeah, they did. I mean, the only thing was that which you don't get from the television show, because you only see an hour or an hour and a half, the whole thing is the boredom. Because we're in there 24 hours a day, and the boredom is huge. I mean, it really is bad. So you get carried away, and I mean, I really enjoyed every moment of it, and I lived it as though it was live all the time. Because you're not aware of what you're doing or how you're
Yeah.
being perceived, so you just have to go with it and trust in those people what are filming you. But I must say I did love it. It was fantastic. It was great, and also to win it was something else because to be voted by the public was extraordinary. And I'm still living off that. Winning that show, it's wonderful.
They say that they take the time away from you, don't they? You don't know what time it is. You just
No
have to
idea.
guess. So
No
you
idea
just
what
have to
time
try.
it is. You don't know where you are, what you're doing. You know nothing. I mean, it's. And I watched it. I went on holiday, and I took all the episodes and I watched them, and I was fascinated by what I saw. I mean, it was extraordinary. But it's such a brilliant show, mainly because of Ant and Dec, who are absolutely superb.
Yeah.
It was. Oh, someone's. Kay Fraser.
I was just about to say, have you seen the comments? Yeah. So we've got.
Yes, Canderel's great. I use it too. No, it's wonderful.
And we've also got the colours as well, Chris.
Oh.
But it's red, yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, opal, peach, ruby, olive, violet, fawn, asher, yellow, russet, grey, cream, crimson, purple, white, pink, orange, and blue. I assume that's right.
I knew that.
I trust in you, Donna. Don't let me down. There we go. You just wanted people to get interactive, didn't you?
Exactly.
That's
well
what we
done,
wanted.
Donna.
On to Ryan Connors now. When you were growing up, did you always know that you were going to be in show business? And also, if you didn't do that, what job would you be doing?
My sound has come on my television. So I'm just going to switch it off. It suddenly... You can tell how late it is. I was recording the One Show. Sorry, say that again. What did you say?
So Ryan wants to know, when you were growing up, did you always know that you would be in show business? And also, if you didn't do show business, what other job would you have loved to have done?
Right. Now, when I didn't know when I was a child that I loved theatricality, and I loved drama, and I loved theatre, I loved all of that. But when I was growing up and I went to school, there were three things I wanted to do. One was be an actor, which I did. And then the other one was I wanted to be a vicar. And I played many vicars, including the sex-crazed vicar in Poldark. So I think I've achieved my vicarage. And then the other one, the other one I wanted to do, vicar.
We're coming up tonight as friends.
Oh, sorry.
For those of you that are missing the One Show,
And it's a pre-recording, so I don't know what's quite good. And what was the other thing I wanted to do? There was a third thing as well.
you mentioned earlier about being a serial killer. Is that on your list of things you'd
No,
like to
that
have
was
done?
on my list to do, but it wasn't anywhere near my list at that particular time. So I wanted to be. Anyway, I've sort of almost done. Yes, I've had the most amazing career, and it was fantastic. So I've done everything, I think, but it was good fun.
Yeah. Okay, Sarah Lancaster. Hi there, Chris. Can I ask you, what is your favourite kind of food, and do you enjoy cooking? What's your speciality and favourite dish? So if you were to cook for your other half, what would you be cooking if you were going?
First of all, I have to say that I do love food, and as you can probably tell, but I love going to restaurants. I love. Oh, this is embarrassing. I don't know why it keeps happening. Everything's happening. Bells are going at the front door. My television. I had to switch it off. I think
You're not going to go. It's Biggins. We weren't expecting a.
No,
we expected some flamboyancy.
Oh well, you've got that in
Got it.
In bucketful. So what was the question again?
What's your favourite kind of food?
Oh, that's
do you
right,
enjoy cooking? What's your favourite dish?
So I think without doubt, my favourite food is Italian food. I love Italian food. I love spaghetti. I love the way that meats are cooked in Italy. I love Italy. And without doubt, my favourite food is Italian food. I'm a very good cook, but since I've been with my partner, which has now been about Neil, I've been with him for about 15 years ago. So, no, the sounds come on. And he is a brilliant cook, I must say.
Yeah.
And since I switch that off. Oh dear, this is very embarrassing.
Do you have a mute button, Biggins, for your TV?
I do, but it's not working because I've got one of these clever TVs where it's linked up with Sonus.
Right, yeah.
You know, so I'm going to have to get up and switch on. This is interesting.
okay.
Did I tell you I've got a bad knee last time I got up?
Yes, you did, and that you're going for.
I've still got it
soon. Yeah.
Right, hang on. Oh, this is going to be really interesting.
You have a beautiful kitchen, by the way. There, Biggins.
Oh, thank you. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to put in Joan's test a little bit later on to see how good she is at spotting when someone is telling the truth.
And joining us in the studio is the only.
It's the one show in the background, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah, it is the one. So you're right.
It's the one show. It's a big fan.
But I think it's finished already. But still, let's the. Yes, it's 8 o'clock. So it's 6:08. So right here, I'm back again now with you.
Right. So we've food, still food.
Yes. So I used to love cooking, but now Neil does all the cooking, and Italian food is my favourite food, I think, of all time. I love spaghetti, and I love everything about Italian food. It's great. Was there an ending to that question? I can't remember now.
What was your speciality and favourite dish? So what's your speciality that you like to cook, and your other half?
Well, I tell you what I love to cook, and I love to eat at the same time, is a baked potato.
Oh yeah.
And you cook it, and you take all the baked potato out, all the mash, the white potato out, and
just like the skin. Yeah.
Yeah. Cream it, and put the skins back in the oven so they become crispy. Cream it within an inch of itself with butter and milk. Put it back into the skins and cover with caviar. It's really delicious, and it's the sort of thing that anybody could do if you've got money. It's marvellous.
If you've got caviar, it's brilliant. Do you know what? I've just had an idea. I think you and I should get together and do cooking with Biggins.
Yes, very good. Absolutely. What we could do? Is Smith your real name?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But we could do Biggins and Smith, cooking with Biggins and Smith.
I like it. We could have a whole brand of like merchandise after it.
It sounds like a cowboy. Biggins and Smith.
Or BS.
BS.
But yeah, we'll talk after Biggins. I'll follow you on Twitter. I'll follow you on Instagram. We'll sort it out.
Very good.
Sue Eastwick, can I ask how you got started in show business and what was your very first job that you did?
Well, I was very lucky. When I left school at 16 and a half years old, I lived in Salisbury in Wiltshire, which has a very good repertory company. So I went to see the manager, Mr. Solberg, and asked him for a job. And he said I could come for 2 weeks to do a job. And I loved it, and they loved me, and I stayed for 2 years. And I started off as an ASM, and I worked my way up to a DSM, which is a deputy stage manager. And I left, and I went to Bristol Old Vic Theatre School after 2 years in Salisbury. So I had a wonderful beginning to my career, and I just loved it. And when I went to Salisbury, I worked with Stephanie Cole, who is, I think, one of the greatest actresses going. I mean, she's wonderful. And I was very lucky. It was a wonderful period to do things in. And it was a joy, and I was very, very lucky. And of course I stayed with it, and I've been with it now for 55 years, I think it is. I've been doing it.
And it's been the best time of your life, the best ride, so to speak.
Yeah, it really has. It's been marvellous. And, hopefully it'll keep going.
I'm sure it will. You're a showbiz legend. That's what happens.
This could be the end of my career, though, this interview.
Why? Don't worry, we've always got our cooking show after it, and someone just put a Smiggins cookbook. So
exactly, yes.
We've got it sorted.
Anyway, I think it's really good.
I like it.
That's alphabetical, by the way.
Yeah, I don't mind going second. You're the bigger star. And you speak proper English. I'm from Yorkshire. I don't have that ability. Haley's put a question in the chat here. What did you make of Sheridan Smith playing Scylla in the Scylla show on ITV?
Oh, I thought she was just brilliant. I mean, she's a lovely girl. I love her personally. But I thought she was wonderful as Scylla. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
A joy. I mean, a real joy. She captured her so superbly. I mean, it was brilliant. Just wonderful.
Yeah, absolute brilliant lady.
And also, she's done some wonderful performances herself. She's been fantastic.
Yeah, obviously, most recently she did the musical thing on BBC, which obviously showed us the musicals where we couldn't have them, and she's just so talented. And to
Yeah.
think, obviously, Sheridan Smith, she started off in, the Northeast drama of 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. It's the
Yeah.
complete opposite. So it just shows her versatility and how fabulous she is. Martin Collins, what's your favourite all-time musical, and who was your role model whilst growing up? Now, obviously, we spoke about Frank Sinatra earlier. Was he your role model? Did you always want to be a part of the Rat Pack?
No, he wasn't because that was much later when I met Frank. I mean, I thought he was great, fantastic. What was my role model? A very interesting question. I suppose when I was growing up, my role model was probably people like Tommy Steele. Who I used to watch as a kid and thought he was fantastic. Yeah. And I met Tommy, and he's a lovely, lovely man. And people like, I think really it was people in the film industry, film stars, I looked up to, because I didn't really, in the early days, think I would be part of show business. But, it was certainly watching a lot of films, because my mother loved watching films. Yeah. So I used to watch the films with her. My father was out working and bringing in the money, but we used to watch lots of films. And Tommy Steele was very big in my early bringing up of stars and personalities.
That's a good one. And your all-time favourite musical?
I think, this may sound bizarre, but I have to say it probably is The Sound of Music, which I absolutely loved. I still love. And I'm a great Julie Andrews fan, and I think she is quite fantastic. And I love that film. If ever it's on television, I'll put it on and watch it. And there are lots of other films. I love watching films. I think Netflix is one of the great channels ever, where you get to see some wonderful things again, when you forget about them. And it's wonderful. But no, I think The Sound of Music is a brilliant, brilliant movie. I love it.
Good choice. Kelly Hitchinson, once we get back to normal, fingers crossed soon, whenever that may be, what's the thing you're looking most forward to doing?
Well, when we get back to normal, I want to go out with my friends, and I want to go to a restaurant.
Yeah, a good Italian.
A good Italian, and have some lovely food and lovely drink and a lovely laugh with all my friends. That's what I really want to do, I think. And also travel again. I love traveling, and of course you can't travel anywhere now. I mean, it's almost impossible. But we've done a few staycations, and Cornwall I love. Yeah. So that's been really nice, going down there and visiting people and staying there. So, but there's still lots of places I want to go to, and I hope we can get back to traveling. I don't think it'll be properly for another couple of years, though. Yeah,
but we'll find out in the next couple of weeks, won't we? With the
certainly
task
will.
Force. So fingers crossed. I want to get to Disney World. I'm missing it.
Do you go to Disney World a lot?
Yeah, I have a place out there, so I love being in Orlando. It's beautiful.
You?
Yeah, it's lovely. You ever been?
Do you work? Yes, I have. I love it. Do you work there then?
No, I wish. I'd make a great Mickey Mouse with these ears. Anyway, on to the final question now, Biggins. I know we've had a long chat, and it's been absolutely brilliant and so funny talking to you. John Cunningham. Hi there, Chris. Me and my family have been to see you in many shows over the years, from musicals to Pantos. If you could do any of your shows one more, just again, go back and relive a particular show, what would it be and why? Would it be Joseph? Would it be Rocky Horror?
No, it wouldn't be any of those. But I think not many people may know that I did this show, this part. I would love to visit again a show which was particularly important to me at the time. And that was... Well, it's difficult to say, actually, because do you mean anything, theatre or television or anything?
Anything at all, any role that you played that's listed on your Wikipedia at all, anything.
Well, it's very difficult because there's so many things that I've really enjoyed doing. But I suppose it has to be Nero in I, Claudius.
Yeah.
Which I really, I mean, when we did I, Claudius, I really felt that I was at one particular time Nero, And it felt so easy to me. I mean, he was a wonderful character to play.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that he was a pretty nasty character too. I mean, he was, quite vile and, murdered people at the slightest whim, tortured people, all the things I like doing in my spare time.
Yeah.
So,
good choice.
And murder.
This is ready for the serial killer thing.
I know, exactly.
I'll see it soon.
Anyway, I really did enjoy that series. I mean, it was wonderful, and it was very important for me. I think it changed my career at that particular point, and so it was great.
Thank you so much, Biggins. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you tonight. You have been, I mean, you live up to the name of showbiz legend. So thank you so much for chatting to us tonight. It's been lovely. Thank you for taking the time out. We wish you the best. Good luck in the next couple of weeks with your knee. I hope you get a speedy recovery. And
thank you, Adam.
A great outcome of that. And thank you once again. Remember, the Joseph concert is still available to watch online at YouTube and on our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram social media pages. Go on there. And remember to keep donating to Acting for Others as well, supporting people in the theatre industry that are not getting an income right now and need support in the future. So for me and the legend that is Mr. Biggins down there, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Stay safe, stay well, abide by the rules, tell them Biggins, do what they're told.
Do what you're told.
There we
Adam,
go.
it's been a joy. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you so much. We're looking forward to the cooking show. I know everyone else is as well. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye now. See you later, Biggins.
Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.